Hello everyone, my name is Sean, and from this PPT, I want to share my knowledge about internal processing in second language acquisition. Let's start with the definition first. Internal processing is a cognitive process that occurs within the learner during language acquisition. According to Duhler 2012, internal processing involves the learner's mental representation and processing of linguistic forms, and how they use this information to understand and produce language. This is the internal processing framework. Internal processing consists of three internal factors that operate as people learn a second language. Two are subconscious process, which is called the filter and the organizer, and one is a conscious processor called the monitor. Okay, so what is filter? Filter is part of internal factor that subconsciously screens incoming language based on the affection. According to Milha Disade, 2016, affection refers to a set of some factors that can either facilitate or impede language learning. These factors are motivation, attitude, and emotional. From motivation, learners who are motivated to learn a second language, they are more likely to persist in their efforts to learn the language. The second is attitude. Learners with a positive attitude are more likely to engage in language learning activities. The last is emotional. Learners with low level of emotional, such as anxiety, can create a relaxed and receptive state that facilitates learning. The filter can be determined into target language models that the learner will select. This filter can influence which language models or input source learners choose to focus on. The second is which parts of the language will be attended first. This filter influences which aspects of the language learners based on their current knowledge and understanding. And the last is how fast a learner can acquire the language. This filter can also affect how quickly learners acquire the language. The next is organizer. Organizer is part of the internal factor that responsible for the learner's gradual organization of the new language, which based on the cognitive. According to Miladis Ade, 2016, cognitive refers to the ability to regulate one's thoughts and actions in order to achieve a goal. Organizer can be reflected into three phenomena. The first is transitional construction. It refers to the construction that learners use before a structure is finally acquired. The second is errors. Errors in language production and comprehension can also be a reflection of the organizer in internal processing. And the last is acquisition order of structure. The order in which learners acquire different language structures can also be a reflection of the organizer in internal processing. Okay, and the last is monitor. Monitor is the part of internal factor that appears to be responsible for conscious linguistic processing and plays a role in language learning. When a person tries to learn a role by reading about it in grammar book or by attending a class, the person is engaging in conscious language learn. The degree to which the monitor use depends on first learner's age. Younger learners may rely more on subconscious language acquisition, while older learners more inclined on conscious learning. The second is nature and focus required by the verbal task. If the verbal task requires a high level of accuracy, the learner more likely to use the monitor. The last is individual personality of the learner. Some learners may be more inclined to use the monitor due to their personality traits, such as preference for structure and accuracy in language use. There are three kinds of monitor users. First is monitor over users. These learners rely heavily on their monitor, which can result in slow and hesitant language production. The second is monitor under users. These learners rely less on their monitor and are more focused on fluency and communication. And the last is monitor optimal users. These learners strike a balance between accuracy and fluency. And okay, that's all from my sharing about internal processing in second language acquisition. I hope this can be useful for everyone. Thank you.